Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Drinks and Kicks Grind Time. This is the special hydration edition. As you can see, like always, before we get into it, cheers, Jay.
Cheers, man.
No coffee today, strictly H2O. All right, guys, let's get into it, shall we? Today's topics. First thing we wanted to start off with, talking about Nike missing the mark. I would say in general. I was having this interesting conversation with one of the guys at work the other day too about something similar in this vein. Thinking about sales numbers, because I know everyone likes to project and talk about like Nike being down year over year, kind of like in a slump with the stock. But the one thing I was curious about is like comparing that to pre COVID, because that's where a lot of the inflation came from. Obviously, we were all stuck in the house spending money. So it's like people were going crazy. And now that we're seeing this like decline, especially when it comes to stock. But when you look at comparing the numbers to right before COVID, Nike is actually doing better financially. Like it's up. So I don't know if a lot of the hysteria is because of COVID, like the explosion of COVID. But from a product standpoint, I do think a lot of people aren't as excited. With all that said, Jay, what are your thoughts?
Man, I'm about to be like the economist right now. You feel me?
Let's go.
So, I mean, when you think about prices pre-COVID, dog, you got to think like shoes was going for about retros like 180, 190, and 11s was 220. Like it was traditional, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you look at now, retail is 230, 240 for true blue threes. Back in the day, it's crazy we can say back in the day now, but back in the day, it was on something where resale was 250. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you may have a kid who's been raised in a single parent household, or you know, like his parents really can't afford the shoes and everything like that. They're not gonna go out there and pay 230, 240, 250 out the tax.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me ask you personally, because we're all into sneakers, we all even bought some stuff at like resale. What do you feel comfortable on a release? I'm not talking like resale price, but personally, like where's your sweet spot that you feel comfortable paying for like a new release?
For a new release, man, mind you, I'll be throwing a military discount. So I'll be throwing it up there a little times, but I really feel like retro should never be over 190.
Okay. So after tax, let's say like 205.
205,
Yeah.
that's just perfect. Everybody wins, man.
Do you feel the same way if it's a non-Jordan retro, like an SB or an ASIC or an Adidas shoe? Like,
I feel like SBs should, for Haas, they should be 110, like
Okay.
they used to be. Lows should be $90, like they used. Like that's what it should be. I don't understand, like in terms of quality, the quality is not improving on none of these
Facts.
shoes. Like take a Skunk SB, you know what I'm saying? Skunk's like for its time period was like one of the most highest quality shoes, including like Ben 23s and stuff like that. High quality. So the prices made sense for those, but for a shoe to come out, you still got factory defects. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Carbons when they first came out, they had the pink sole and stuff. Like it was a problem, but they was still what $190 sneaker.
Yeah, that's definitely something like to hit on that point for me. Something I've been taking into consideration lately. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. I know I keep saying that every episode, but like you get to a point where it's like, what's reasonable? Maybe because it's like more responsibilities and stuff now, other life shit I got to pay for, like, and just what I feel comfortable with. To me, it's a sub $200. Like I'll pay the 200 if it's something I really want. But to me, it just doesn't feel the same when paying for that like 220 range. I just hit on those Kith Air Max 95s, that Knicks colorway they did.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the receipt because obviously I entered the raffle. I think I was a little bit caught up in the moment too, not like paying attention to what the final price was. I looked at the receipt and I was like 240 something, like 245. And I'm like, ugh, like it's a cool shoe. But yeah, that's not something I'm doing as frequently as I used to in the past. I'm definitely weighing out like value of the sneaker And when I mean value to me personally, it's not only like quality, but like how much am I gonna wear the shoe also.
Exactly.
But now I think about like that $200 range, and I'm like, what else could I do with that 200? Like what in the house could I do with that 200? Like it's just not the same. I guess for me, it's just priority shifting. But yeah, it seems like every year they're constantly raising the price.
Every year. But you know something that's like crazy though? Think about like the youth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The youth is always the ones that's gonna push the culture to where it's supposed to be. So like when we was coming up, the youth was wearing KDs, LeBrons, and Kobe's.
Yeah.
All under LeBron probably was 160, 170.
Yep.
So it was 170 and below, but everybody in school had KDs, LeBrons, and Kobe's on.
Yeah, I remember the KD4 was like a $95 shoe.
Exactly. So when you look at today's, and we're gonna touch on this too, when you look at today's time period of kids exploring other options with Asics, New Balance, and you know what I'm saying, which is cool, like that's what they should be doing, but it's in full force because look at the price of a retro with 30, 40-year-old technology
Yeah.
for ASIC, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a perfect segue into something else we're going to talk about a little bit later with like the ASICS wave. But that's something that's interesting, talking about youth and like spending behaviors. One thing that kind of surprised me that obviously we've seen grown over like, I would say the last 5 or 6 years, especially I think kind of tied into like pandemic and even like pre-pandemic times, was like the rise of vintage and people going to the thrift. Personally, like growing up, that was one thing that you did not like, you know what I mean? You kind of get made fun of if you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you went back to school shopping at the Goodwill. But like now it seems like that's the preferred thing. Like people trying to find like throwback, whether it's from a look, like you want like a 90s look. So you want to go get some like 90s jeans or something, or trying to find shirts and stuff that not everybody else is wearing. I think it's pretty dope. And like, even personally, like I go to the thrift and find like jeans and stuff all the time. So I'm kind of happy with that whole sense, but that plays into what we were just talking about. Like
Yeah.
if I'm paying, you know, $10 for a t-shirt versus going to like a streetwear brand and paying anywhere from $45 to $80 for a t-shirt, it's like those spending habits kind of bleed into the other stuff with sneakers. And I think that's kind of affected the bottom line from the Nike standpoint also. What do you feel about the actual product though that they're putting out? Like, are you as excited about stuff that's coming out?
I'm excited, man, just because of like growing up, and when you heard of like a Myro 7 or a Ben 23 7, like you just knew like that was the pinnacle of the Jordan 7. So if we look at like right now, the Myro's coming out on the 10th, right?
Yep.
So you can go on StockX and get those for under retail right now, really.
Sheesh.
But it's one of those things with that is it's just like I'm excited for it, but the price is like, man, it's not like the money part's not a problem, but it's more so like the price point.
Yeah.
I grew up in a time period where my mom was just like, all right, you want $200 sneakers? Back then, Jordans was like 160. So she was like, all right, you want Jordans? Go get you a job, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to understand where she's coming from, because it's just like, all right, you gonna go spend 200, 250, 2-3 times a month? That's almost $700 something, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. Thinking about that too from the standpoint of like, I see the kids come into the store and sitting there, and relevant too, because back to school about to start up right
Yeah.
now. But these kids come in and they're trying to convince their parents. Mind you, like the kids are still growing. Most of them, at least they're like foot. Like you're not even settled on your size yet, and you're trying to convince your parents to buy you a $300, $400 sneaker. And I'm just like, no. Like personally, I wouldn't do it. And I even think from a kid standpoint, like I don't always remember like wanting to get the single shoe for like the whole budget. Like I would
Yeah.
take that budget. I mean, back when I was growing up, Foot Locker still used to do those like 2 for $89 sale or 2 for $79 sale. So I was thinking more so about like, let me get 2. So I have like a darker shoe or a lighter shoe to kind of switch it up with the outfits and stuff. Like, how can I stretch that?
Yeah.
And like, even with that, when I see the kids coming in and asking for that like $300 shoe, I'm like, man, you could buy an Air Max or like an Asics and a Vans. Like, how about you get like 2 or 3 pairs, have a nice little rotation versus having the one black cat that you're going to have to wear. Not to mention you get that shit all dirty, and these kids ain't cleaning their shoes like we used to either. Like, it's just crazy, man.
You
So
want to know something wild though? When the Concourse came out in 2011, I was like in 7th grade, right? Like, I'm a youngin, man. I'm a young guy, man. So, but when they came out 2011, I was in 7th grade. That sneaker was $180 then when it retailed,
yeah,
and regular Jordans was 160. I was asking my mom, I'm like, yo, mom, please, like, can I please get? I was begging her, like, that was like when I first I'm coming into like without my hobbies and stuff. She said, nah, you're not doing that. So we had this mom and pop shop called Fashion Avenue.
yeah.
They sold like Jordans and stuff like that, but they had a section. It was like a buy one get one 50% off one. And she looked at me. She was like, "Look, you either want to get the buy one get one 50% off, or you want to go stand in line and probably not get those shoes." And I was like, "Dang." She was like, "You can't have both though. What you want?" I took the buy one get one 50% off, and I got
Yep.
a Jordan 7 Orient blue.
Nice.
And back then, that's when Jordan used to do like a yearly shoe. So they would do like a Jordan 2011, 2012, and stuff like that. And so I chose the 2011, which was Dwayne Wade's sneaker that year.
Nice.
And so it's just like, man, that is kind of crazy. And I had I had a similar situation with my little brother probably a couple months ago for his birthday. He was like, "Yo, I want some Balenciagas." Facts.
Oh my god.
I was like, "How much the Balenciagas cost?" "Oh, they want 400. I'm buying them used."
That's crazy.
400 is the new norm for these kids, and it's like ridiculous, yo.
I don't know where that comes from either, as far as like the sense of a dollar. Like, you think people just regularly spending $400 on some shoes is crazy. I mean, I guess the real question is, did you get them?
He got him.
Okay.
He got him, and you know what I'm saying? Like every time I go home, he's wearing these Balenciagas every day. He showed me pictures with his friends at school, and everybody got Balenciagas on.
Oh my god.
Crazy thing is though, I dropped them off at school whenever I was back home. I'm seeing the kid like walk past me, and the you remember the what's the name of the shoes? They was like it looked like a bowling shoe. You know what I mean? Like they was green, red, and they was like patent leather. It was like a designer sneaker.
Not
Ooh,
ringing
I
a
can't
bell.
think of the name. Dang.
I'm trying to think. The other thing keeps coming to mind, and it's not what you described, but I can't get past it. Is the Triple S? Every time I see that freaking shoe, think about that big old boat of a shoe.
Hold on, I'm about to pull this up right now. Patent leather designer sneaker.
The other thing that keeps coming to mind too is like a Giuseppe, which I don't think it was a Giuseppe. I'm trying to think what else.
Pradas.
Oh, the Pradas.
The Prada cups.
The cups. Yes. What was it? Copa Americana or something like that. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking about.
Kids wearing a $700 sneaker in like 9th grade.
What the is this? Where is this back in Houston?
No, this is in North Carolina.
North Carolina? I was about to say, what
That tech money, man.
what is going on? Oh man, that's crazy. I couldn't if I would have asked my mom for something like that, I probably would have got smacked. I ain't even gonna lie.
Out the door.
Yeah, she's like, you are outside your mind. Anyways, moving on. What do you think Nike needs to do to kind of get out of this slump that they're in?
Wu-Tang had a real good saying back in the day. So we about to quote Wu-Tang on this beautiful Sunday.
Here we go.
Wu-Tang love the kids, man.
Yep.
And Nike, if you love the kids and if you love the people, bring them prices down. It's gonna be all right.
That's an interesting thing I was thinking about too is like, can you put the genie back in the bottle at this point? Like, can they bring the prices down? And that's the other thing. Maybe they do it in a way that we don't think about. Instead of lowering the price on a Jordan, trying to introduce new product at lower price points.
That point too.
Yeah.
We've been seeing this, like we really haven't seen no new ingenuity. Like we would normally see, like think about when the Roshi came out, right?
Yeah.
Swept the streets.
That's like an $90 shoe.
Exactly. Yep. Everybody and their grandma had a pair of Roshis on.
I had this is something that I'm probably gonna get killed for too. Do you know, I'm trying to think off top, like what retail price is for the Vomero 5? Is it like 150? 135?
Maybe not off top.
Not too sure. I think it's like 150 if I remember correctly. But I think that's one thing to try to combat that point too. And then they have that other shoe, is it the P5000, P7000? It's kind of another mesh shoe that had like the metallic It's 170 for a Vomero. Wow. All right, maybe that's bad example. I was trying to think to that point of like new product at lower prices. I think that's the thing too, right? Asics has proven that you can have a trendy shoe at a low price from the Kayano, and I know they have a couple of other models. What is that? The 1130. Like you can have a trendy shoe at a price point of $100 and be successful, and those things were sounding like hotcakes. So, like Nike, like take some notes. I know there's some things you can do to give us great product at a lower price. It may not directly be lowering the retro price down because, I mean, it's evident that ain't happening. They're going up still. Other thing we want to kind of to transition to, let's talk about it now because we kind of mentioned it a couple of times with the whole trend with the Asics thing. I know there was an interview that kind of got circulated around in our group chat where it was the head guy of Awake talking about him starting the trend with the Asics and the Kayanos. What did you think? You saw that clip?
He's cap.
Think it's cap?
Yo, he's cap, yo. Because think about it. Ronnie, even Nikki with Diamond Supply had touched the Asics way like this. We talking 2010, 2012, 13, like way back.
That was different models, I would say. To your point, models. Like there have been other people's Gel Light 3s and Gel Light 5s. I guess more so his claim was the mesh runner.
So the mesh runners too. All right. So here's how I look at that. It was probably about 3-4 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone was wearing the Avias that you can get from Walmart.
Yeah.
And people started like, they was like, where'd you get, everybody's getting these shoes from? And they was like, oh, y'all wearing Walmart shoes now?
That was crazy. I remember that.
They had to switch the game up. What's the closest thing to an Avia?
Let's say the ASIC?
It was the Kayano 14. So like I think he played a part in it because he was there like during that specific time, but I don't think he's like the reason. He was just right place, right time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, is I remember, I'm pretty sure it was him that did that Complex interview, and they were talking about stocking the store and they would sell out. Or maybe I'm getting that confused. So if my facts are a little misconstrued there, but I know somebody on Complex that doing it. I don't know why Lapstone and Hammer's coming into mind, but I don't think it was them. But there was an owner of a store talking about having success with the Asics and the mesh runner things, and I guess he was talking about how Asics was allowing him to stock the store with a lot of that inventory, and nobody else was really doing it because he was like buying up all the different colorways and stuff, and people would come in and all the kids would come up and snatch the inventory. But I don't remember that being the guy from Awake. Maybe I'm getting that confused. Internet, you guys can fact check me on that one.
Let us know.
But yeah, I don't think that. I think that's cap also. Yeah. I don't know what receipts he has to kind of prove that, but the mesh thing I feel like came out of nowhere. It was like a weird evolution from the Dunks. I feel like a lot of kids were transitioning away from the Dunks and trying to find something more comfortable. Also a cheap shoe because Dunks were like $105, $110. And a lot of those 130s and even the Kayano like 140, not too far off the mark. But I feel like it's a thing with fashion trends too. Like a lot of the TikTok looks and all these kids switching over to that style. Any other thoughts on that?
Man, when it comes down to the culture, you're never inventing the wheel. You're just reinventing it, man. Like you don't got to put this claim on yourself that you started this. Virgil showed us that. Like, look at the Jordan 1
remix. Yeah, that's the thing too. And I don't even know what his point was. I didn't watch the full interview. We just kind of shared that clip. Yeah. I don't know what the point he was trying to make or what he wanted to achieve from that. But yeah, I don't think he gets credited with that one personally. I think it's a lot of it has to do with the youth these days, and things are moving so quickly with like trends and like TikTok stuff. I mean, we hate to say it as the old heads, or we love to say it, I should say, as the old heads of like everything going on with TikTok and these kids. But yeah, I wouldn't say that's cap for that statement for sure. Another thing we wanted to talk about was this post that Jordan Brand had put out about looking for designers. I guess they're running a design competition. All you budding designers out there, if you think you have what it takes, Jordan Brand is looking for you. What are your thoughts on that competition?
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen that one, I was like, "Yo, hold on, let me see if I can get in on this." You
Yeah,
know
I
what
know
I'm
you be doing
saying?
the graphic design stuff too. You gonna enter?
Nah, so I had seen this only select cities. So it's like
Interesting.
Chicago is New York, LA, and I think it's like Shanghai, a couple other cities like overseas and stuff. But it's like select cities, man. But honestly, I think it's a good concept if it's gonna expose like different creatives, you know what I'm saying, throughout like the community and stuff like that. But the only thing I can see where it goes wrong at is you're basically just using these people to, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
that. I mean, but that's business. That's part of the business though. But I think it's a cool concept, man. Like ever since I was a kid, I wanted to design my own Jordan and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
facts.
So I mean, I think it's cool, bro. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like an omission of a few things. Where it's them admitting that they're kind of creatively stuck. I
Mhm.
would say maybe internally the juices aren't flowing like they should, which is surprising too. You would think they have a bunch of like well educated designers with a lot of talent. But I feel like when you market it correctly, you make it seem like it's like, hey, it's an opportunity for us to give somebody a shot. I don't know the details too, so I don't know what comes of that. Like if you win, are they gonna allow you? Are they gonna give you a job? Like, or are they just gonna allow you to do like a mock-up of one color? So maybe you just get a Jordan 3 that you're designing. Again, I don't know the details, but I feel like it's whenever they do stuff like that, people get so caught up in it being a chance to design for Jordan. But to me, I think it's more so of like looking past that. It's more so an admission of them being like creatively stuck and trying to go to outside sources to get inspiration and bring in fresh talent and fresh ideas. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like see through the marketing stuff, and it's interesting given what we were just talking about earlier about them like missing the mark and stuff. But like Jay was saying, if you guys are in any of those cities or you're close enough where it's travelable, like it's maybe a 2 hour drive, definitely check it out. Show out your portfolio. Like best of luck, man. Hopefully somebody gets a good gig out of that, and hopefully it's not just a one time thing where they're just gonna use you for one idea. Like hopefully they honestly like offer somebody a job.
You like a Tinker Hatfield, man. Like
Yeah.
what if you had to choose though, man? Like, what would be your sneaker? Like, if you had to choose between a Nike or a Jordan, what would you design?
The one thing I would work on. Interesting. I think the one thing that I've seen the most creativity out of would honestly be an SB.
Yeah,
So I think an SB low would be dope to work on. Um, Jordan side, I don't know. I mean, I love the three. Three's one of my favorite shoes. For me, it's 1, 3, and probably 4. But I feel like 4's so overplayed right now. I don't know if
yeah.
I'd want to do that. Um, I'd probably stick with the SB to be honest with you. What about you?
Um, so on the Nike side, I think it'll be like a mix between a SB Low because it's just like that's a classic, bro.
Yeah, I
Like
feel like a perfect canvas to be honest.
perfect. And then like on the Jordan side, it would probably have to be like a Jordan 7 just to tie that
7,
back
interesting.
into it, man. Like, yeah, that was the first retro I had that, you know what I mean? Like that cemented me in like the game. So
That explains it. Yeah,
yeah.
because I know you're big on that mural that's coming out. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the connection. I'm like, why is he so hyped about that 7? But that
Yeah,
makes
that's
perfect
why,
sense. Yeah,
bro.
if that's the shoe that got you into it, like, I mean, of course it's gonna have a special place in your heart. Next thing we wanted to talk about was actually something that's on our release calendar coming up. So I don't know if this is going to affect the actual release of the shoe or not, but 7-Eleven is suing Nike over their pack that's coming out actually on the 11th. What are your thoughts on
Man, Nike better learn and better go sit down somewhere, yo. This
that?
they second time.
I just think the funniest thing when situations like this come up is like you hear stories, too many stories going the opposite direction where like Nike is going after and suing people, which I think a lot of those are warranted, but I just think it's funny where it's like you don't like people doing it to you, but you're okay like doing it to other people. That's crazy to me. I think it's a little absurd, but I feel like 7-Eleven has a good case though. Like if they've put out their own product using their distinct like brand color patterns where it's like the three colors kind of in unison, they have a pretty good case, I feel like, to stop them. But I don't know if their shoes are going to come out before that's kind of settled. If Nike's going to halt the release, according to the calendars we were looking at earlier, it still looks like it's good to go. But I don't know. Any other thoughts?
Man, Nike, y'all been trying to do this with 7-Eleven since what? A little minute now. Y'all, it's like the second time y'all don't did it. It's one of those things like just go to a different gas station at this point. Go to Buc-ee's, man.
Yo, Buc-ee's.
Line wrapped around the corner, man. Go to Buc-ee's.
Do that Buc-ee's Nike collab. Oh man, I think it's crazy too. Like, I don't know where the hiccup is. Like, how come you guys can't secure this deal to make it official? Like, I know with the SB, it actually had the little logo on the side, but this one doesn't. It just happens to be the same colors. So I don't know how that falls apart to the point where they're trying to sue you over it. Hopefully it doesn't affect the release, because I know we were pretty hyped about that collection. So we'll see about that if it still ends up coming out or not. Any last thoughts on that? Nike suing people in general, not just the 7-Eleven thing.
I really feel like Nike should, like, how can I put it? Nike wouldn't be in the situation that they are in now where they're having to go out to get the creators if they could just see, like, Kai, for example, right, when he was doing the Jordan 1. Like, see what he's doing, bring him in, let him work on a couple silhouettes. Same thing with the dude from back in the day that did, like, the Newport Air Force One.
Oh, yeah. I forgot his name. Avi. I think it was Avi. I remember watching some interview where he talked about that whole thing, too.
Bring those guys on the team, yo.
I think that's to the point, though. I don't know. I think conflicting sides of what I would say. Some of those guys do want the opportunity. It's just not given to them to work on it. But I do think there are some guys who don't want to split. You know what I mean? Like, why do I want a piece of it when I can do the whole thing and get all of it from a financial standpoint? Because we've heard about some of those deals in the past, like Kanye probably being the biggest and most famous example of like not getting royalties and stuff for some of the designs that they were doing. So maybe they have them same kind of contracts in place. We'll give you the opportunity, but we're not going to give you anything, or we're going to give you pennies.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they've learned from that. I would hope so. I mean, some of the collabs they've done more recently, like the Travis Scott and even now like the J Tip stuff, I would think for J Tips to leave whatever he had going on with Saucony to go work with Nike, like I would hope the deal is more lucrative. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's just something on the Nike side. Who's to say at this point? But yeah, I mean, that's all we really have for this week, man, as it relates to topics. As always, let's get into the rundown of like what releases are coming up.
You just made the list!
Up first on the 7th, we have the SB Air Max 95 Club 58. Did you get a chance to see those?
Yeah, I've been peeping those actually since I seen the previews when they came out. And the 95 is like that desert sand color kind of.
Yeah.
And so it's a shop out of Houston. I think it's called Geometric.
Mm-hmm.
They actually was able to work with Nike on that sneaker. It's not their like shop sneaker, but you know what I'm saying, they was able to work on it a little bit. The pack is really cool. Like the whole pack is cool.
It looks pretty dope from the one that I saw. I'm been getting a lot more 95s lately. That's pretty much one of the only shoes I've really been buying, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Next up on the 8th, we have the Book 2 Detroit Tiger. I know we were talking about books last week. Or the previous show, I should say. We were talking about releases and the colors and the whole way the shoe's set up. What's your thoughts on this one?
Man, I think Book just need better PR, to be honest, because this model like is actually a decent silhouette, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's one of those things too where they do good marketing out here in Arizona and stuff, but they need to do better marketing on the East Coast where people like actually hoop outside and stuff like that. They would appreciate it because like it's nice, yo. And then that colorway with the Detroit colorway is pretty simple. Throw you the Detroit Tigers hat on with the green UV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were talking about that before we started rolling.
Keep
the coked out Tiger on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me personally. To your point, though, I think what they need to do also is start rolling in some of the other players in the NBA that wear his shoes, because there are quite a bit of guys that wear the D-Book 2 or the book line in general. So like incorporate some of those guys in some of the marketing, I think will help also. All right, next up, here's a big one for you. I mean, we mentioned it several times. On the 10th, we have the Jordan 7, the Miro coming back. You copping?
Yeah.
You gonna wait for it to go on sale?
I'm waiting for it to go on sale because it's not gonna sell, yo.
Yeah.
Like that's I feel like that's the good thing about the sneaker world right now is that we don't got to go out here and break our neck to go get them. I'm just gonna wait for them to sit.
Try to catch them a little 20-30% off.
Throw that military discount on them.
Yeah, boy. All right, next up, on the 11th, as we have mentioned a couple of times, also the Air Max 95 pack, the Lawsons and the 711. Hopefully this doesn't get delayed and it actually comes out. The other thing too is, do you know if they're coming out outside of Japan? I know I was kind of confused. I haven't seen any details about that.
See, that's one thing that's kind of confusing with this release as well, because there was a like a boutique, I think it was like in Sweden or something like that, and they was actually like selling pairs already. I tried to order a pair, but you know what I'm saying, they wasn't shipping to the US. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where it may just be like a Europe and Asian market exclusive.
Yeah, that would be interesting too, given everything that's going on with, like, if that potential lawsuit is actually something that's coming to fruition. Maybe there's like a restriction where they can't sell it in the US. Maybe they can only sell it in Japan. So I don't know. Hopefully that pack comes out stateside. Personally, the Lawson's colorway is the one that I like better. I don't know about you, but
711 colorway.
711 colorway. The other thing that we got releasing on that same day, the 11th, is the Reebok's ice cream board flip, the pale cerulean. Not a big fan personally. What are your thoughts on the ice creams?
Man, the ice creams is cool, legendary. Shout out Pharrell, Skateboard P. That particular colorway, not really feeling it. The best colorway is the OG one.
The pink one?
Yeah. What was it like when those, like, they first dropped back then?
It was interesting because I feel like I didn't get caught up in that, but I feel like it's around the same time that, like, Reebok was doing all the crazy stuff by giving some of the artists collabs. Obviously, famously, the G Unit. Everyone talks about the G Unit.
G Unit.
Yeah, the S. Carter. People don't like to mention the Daddy Yankee one. Y'all keep forgetting. But yeah, they were handing out like collabs to a bunch of people. So it would there was definitely fervor around it. Like, people were crazy, especially if you were like big fans of 50. 50 was so big at that time too. So yeah, there was definitely all that stuff. Personally, and I don't, you can give me all the flack you want, I never was the biggest fan of a lot of those shoes, even the board flip. One of the guys at work was coming in like going crazy when they were bringing the pink one and stuff back, because I think it was like a Complex Con exclusive or something. I know there was like a colorway that was like an exclusive, and he was like hella hyped by it. But me, I'm like, dude, that shoe's terrible. But that's just me. I mean, if you like it, that's good for you, but not up my alley, to be honest. But yeah. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and do all the things. All right, J-Man, till next week.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, later, guys.